Alright, 5-3, slope. Slope is also sort of called rate of change. It means how steep something is, or what's the rate that it's changing. Is it going up 5 and over 3 and up 5 and over 3? Or is it going up 1 and over 1, up 1 over? What's the rate? What's the slope? Slope is a number. And the way you find slope is by remembering this little formula which says rise over run. What that means, the rise means up or down, because sometimes you have to go down. And the run means side to side. So rise is up or down, run is side to side. So here's how that works. When they give you a graph of a line and you need to find the slope, the first thing you do is look and find some points where we know for sure the line crosses the intersection of the other lines. So it has to be exactly on a crisscross, if you will. Okay? See where it's crossing? So see, you pick the points that are exactly on the crisscross, but you only need to pick 2. So I picked this one and this one. Now, I'm going to start at the very bottom point, and I'm going to go up until I get on the line where the top point is, and then I'm going to go over. So watch, I'm going to go up and over. Remember, rise, run, rise, run. Now, when I rise, the question is this a positive direction? Yes. Up is positive. If I had to go down, that would be negative. So I'm going positive. And then when I run, in this case, I'm going negative, because positive would be this way. So I'm going positive, negative, positive, negative. So now I have to count and see how far I'm going. So if I start here, I'm going up 1, 2, 3, and I'm going over 1, 2, 3, but it's negative. So up positive 3 over negative 3. So the slope of this line is positive 3 over negative 3. Remember, rise over run. Positive 3 over negative 3. Well, when you reduce that, that equals negative 1. So the slope of this line is negative 1. Okay, here's another line. Let's find the slope. We're going to start by picking 2 places that we know for sure and certain it crisscrosses at. So here's one, and here's one. Okay? Doesn't matter which 2 you pick as long as you pick 2. So now, what do you do next? You start on the bottom point and you go up until you reach the line where this one's on. So you're going to go up and over. Remember, rise and run. Rise and run. Now we're going to count. We're going to go, let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So that's our first number. Is it positive 3 or negative 3? Positive, because up is positive. So that's positive 3 over 1, 2. Is it positive 2 or negative 2? Positive 2, because we went in a positive direction. So we put the 2 on the bottom. So we did 3, 2. Rise over run. That is our slope. Now, we all know that reduces to 1.5, but in slope, you don't want a mixed number. So no mixed numbers in slope. You have to leave it in a fraction, like that, or some of them will reduce to a whole number. This one won't. But you need a fraction or a whole number for slope. No mixed numbers. So you don't ever put 1 1/2. You don't ever put 5 2/3. You leave it improper as a fraction, or if it reduces down to the whole number 3, you can use that. But no mixed numbers. Okay, now that we know what slope is, we can do something else with it. Sometimes the book is going to give us the slope and a point and ask us to graph the line. So the directions will say use the given point and slope to graph the line. And then they will give you the slope and they will give you a point. So what you need to know is when you do this, the point is the starting place. It's like playing a board game. The point is where you're going to start. So we're going to go graph this point. Remember, to graph, you start at the origin, you go side to side first, and up and down second. That's opposite of the slope. Remember, the slope is rise over run. So they're sort of like opposites. So we need to graph this point. So we start here, we go to -1, and we go up 4. So -1 and up 4, and there's our point. Now, that is our starting place. That's the point we're going to start on to graph this line. So, now we look at our slope. Our slope is -1. Well, since slope is rise over run, we need to write it as a fraction. How could we write -1 as a fraction? Right, put it over 1. So -1 over 1, there's our fraction. Now we're going to go back to the point we graphed, because remember I said it is our start. Go to the point we graphed, and we're going to go down 1 because it said negative, and over 1. Down 1, that's the -1. Over 1, that's the positive 1. We're going to make a point right there. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go down 1, over 1, and make this point right here. And that is where we're going to draw our line, through those 2 points. If you have 2 points, you can draw a line. So you draw your line, and now you did what it said. You used the given point and the slope to graph the line. Wonderful. Okay, one last thing to know about this lesson. They're going to ask us if something is constant or variable, and they're going to show us a graph. So what you need to know is this. Anytime you have a completely straight line, like this line, that's constant. Straight lines, constant. If it's a straight line, it's constant. Now, if it's any kind of a curve, like it might be this kind of a curve, that's variable. It might be this kind of a curve, that's also variable. It could even be a wiggly line like this, that would be variable. It could be a circle. Anything that's not straight is variable. So if it's a straight line, it's constant. If it's a curved line, it's variable. Today's video homework's a little bit different. You need to go to the book to page 280 and 281, and then you need to pick any 3 problems and work them and bring them to class on Thursday, and we're going to see if you got your 3 problems right. Cool.